welcome to FTN News Tonight. I'm GreatJakers1113. We have breaking. We begin with breaking news of new nominations from President-elect Ralph Foley that have just came in. These have just came in before the show. We're now going to. We are now going to read out these nominations to you. The first nomination for that we have is for Secretary of State. The first nomination was announced was the nomination for Secretary of State. President-elect Ralph Foley intends to nominate Savage Yada, the former presidential candidate who ran against Arnie Vinnick, to be the next Secretary of State. Savage Yada has been nominated by President-elect Ralph Foley to be the next Secretary of State. And then we have another position, Secretary of Defense, who is Tactical Rock 101, has been nominated by President-elect Ralph Foley to be the next Secretary of Defense. Tactical Rock 101 will be the next Secretary of Defense. He's been nominated by President-elect Ralph Foley. Later in the show, we will have Senator Rotten 5. We will discuss this nomination with him. We will discuss these nominations with him. But we have other news that today is National Eisner Day. Today, the president named today a holiday made today a holiday, and named it after the last surviving founding father here in Noosa, Eisner. We don't know how long he has left in the community, but we are grateful for him. And it will definitely be a very sad day when Eisner eventually leaves the community. I am grateful. We are extremely grateful for what Eisner has done for the community. He's done great for journalism here in Noosa by starting a Merry Pride, and then he did the Potato, and I think they shut down. But either way, he's done so much for the community, and we are so grateful for all his contributions. Anyways, we are going to take a quick break. Anyways, what is there enough time for a presidential transition? The president was inaugurated Sunday. He won Monday. He has less than a week, and he needs time to make all these decisions and nominations. So I'm thinking 70 positions he has to nominate for 70 positions in less than 6 days. That is way too much. That is, in my personal opinion. We need to. I do not think Ralph will have a complete cabinet by then. Tom Foley was just typing in the announcements channel. Do you think if we view the schedule in the channel, I'm going to read what he says. The schedule in the Foley Transition Discord. If I view that schedule channel in the Foley Transition Discord server, let's see what we're going to read it. He says, I don't know, man. We've got like 5 days for about 70 positions. 70 positions in around 5 days. That is 70 positions in around 5 days. How are we going to... I don't know if he's going to be able to meet that quota or not. We're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see, really. We're going to have to wait and see, really, but... So, those are that is the latest. Those are the latest stories those are the latest stories we have for you, and we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to have Senator Rotten. We're going to discuss these nominations with Senator Rotten 5. That's coming up next on FTN News tonight. Hello, and we are back with FTN News tonight. Oh, sorry, we're back with FTN News tonight. We're going to continue our coverage of the nomination of these new nominations from President-elect Ralph Foley. Here with me is Senator Rotten 5. Hello, Senator. Good day.
Hi.
How are you doing right now? And also, okay, why don't I ask how you're doing? I'm gonna assume you're doing good, but anyways,
Yeah.
what do you think of first? First, we're gonna get this elephant out of the room. I think this is gonna be the most questioned and controversial one. Savage Yada for Secretary of State. Do you think Savage Yada is a good pick for Secretary of State?
I completely disagree with Ralph's pick of Savage Yada. That's just horrible. First off, he's been known to be a terrorist in NUSA, okay? So I have no idea what he was thinking, giving him an executive position here.
Okay.
Second off, he's just not right for the job, okay? I hate to say it, but he's just not fit. He's just not the right guy. There's much better options than Savage Yada. Way better options than Savage Yada.
Will you vote against this nomination?
I probably would. Okay, I have no idea where everybody stands on this. It's hard to tell just based off of everything that's happening right now. But I don't think Savage Yada is the right person. I will definitely vote against this.
Okay,
He's
so
in
you
no
would
way cut out
definitely
to be
not pick Savage Yada. So
Savage Yada.
Yes, he has also nominated Tactical Rock 101 to be the next Secretary of Defense. Will you vote for that nomination, or will you vote against it? Do you support that nomination?
Yeah, I support that nomination. That they are good. Okay, I think they're cut out and the right person to be. Yeah.
Okay, so
I'd support it.
So we've already have two cabinet picks. What we're getting is sort of a very both constitutionalist / democratic cabinet. It's pretty obvious, but like it seems very partisan. The cabinet is looking very partisan at the moment. Like, for example, mainly because of Savage Yada. He was a presidential candidate, so. He was a presidential candidate.
Yeah.
So, that's fine. In real life, for example, Biden picked Pete Buttigieg to be Secretary of Transportation. There was no major backlash about that, but it's probably pretty different here in NUSA, is that Savage Yada is a controversial figure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he is very controversial.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people like him, and those that do are majority of them are in the Sponge Gang and or work for the Sponge Gang and other clans like that, because I think what everyone wanted Savajada to do was basically sort of give the gang members more leverage at the sea, which would completely ruin the balance of the game, might I add. But they all wanted that just because they wanted to have the power to do whatever they wanted to people, and that's not okay. It has to be some rules and regulations in this community. Otherwise, it would just be chaos all the time. So yeah.
Agreed. But do you think for Secretary of State, who do you think is the right? Since you've already said that you do not think Savajada is the right man for the job. What now I'm wondering is, who do you think is the right man for the job?
I'm not sure, okay? First off, someone who isn't controversial and someone who actually is well-liked throughout the community and has some support on that, okay? A lot of people, as I said before, hate Savajada, so second off, someone who has experience in the field, okay? I don't believe Savajada has that much experience, okay? I think this is a very political nomination, much less than it's based off of who's best for the job.
So
someone who has...
Yeah, this cabinet is going to be... It's probably not going to really challenge the president on anything, but the president, we need a cabinet that will be able to answer to the president every now and then, and, if they help make sure that fight for what their industry or whatever or agency's best interests are.
Yeah.
Not just serving the president. That is not their main job. It is making smoothly. Like, for example, there are so many other cabinet picks yet to come out, but we're gonna get to that in a bit. But also, where do you think, since you say Savajada is not the right man for the job, do you think we should keep our current Secretary of State, Aaron Shore? Do you think that could be a good alternative to Savajada, keeping Aaron Shore as Secretary of State?
I think pretty much anyone other than Savajada would be a good Secretary of State, okay? If the current one, Aaron Shore, does reapply, I think he would be a fine pick over Savajada. Of course, now it's a little too late to do that because Savage was just announced, but
okay.
Yeah, I think he would be a much better pick than Savajada.
There are so many other nominations out there. For example, remember back when Jesus was blacklisted, there was he picked Gauguin Pierre to be VP. Gauguin Pierre, wasn't he last time this drama happened, he was ineligible for the presidency, so Nightmare became president. Do you think if Ralph gets blacklisted or is forced to resign or is unable to do it, resign unable to execute his duties, we won't. Gauguin is ineligible for the presidency because I think every time you click join group, your citizenship restarts. So if the moment you leave the group, your citizenship is over. So and if you want to run for president, you're gonna have to wait 6 months. So Gauguin, the vice president is really the president needs to pick someone he's comfortable with succeeding him. But either way, Gauguin Pierre has proved he would he would be a good vice president, other for the fact that if the president had to leave the White House, he could not succeed him. But so Owen, that's my brother's name. So Rotten, do you think Gauguin Pierre was a good pick for the job as vice president?
Okay. Yes, I think he is a fine pick. He has been vice president before, and he does a really good job. He has been said to be a political genius from people. Okay, I think he is a fine pick for vice president, and will do
He's been in
a
NUSA
fine
for
job in office.
he's been in NUSA for a while, correct?
Yes, he's definitely been here a while, so he has a
I think
lot of experience.
if I were Ralph, I would have picked someone who's a bit newer, bit younger.
Yeah, but this is vice president. At this point, anybody is a good pick for vice president.
Yeah.
Okay, even me or you could be a good vice president.
Yeah, your job is essentially release
But
statements and stand behind the president when he makes speeches.
Yes.
Just stand there, do nothing
It's
behind the president when he makes speeches. So there are many other there are many possibilities for other cabinet picks. For example, there's one thought I've been having in my head. For example, that could be a pick that could possibly be for Attorney General Alex J. Cabot. Wait, wasn't he already Attorney General?
He was Attorney General. I
yeah.
think he stepped down to become a judge. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest. I never really liked that guy. Okay, so he's kind of a jerk a lot. Very cocky. Okay, his personality was awful. What he did for the Department of Justice was turn it into a meme so that people would want to join it, which I guess it works. People did want to join it, but
yeah, not for the right reasons.
Yeah, it was just it was a meme. So I don't know. Okay, he's a very questionable and risky nomination for the job. So it's very hard to say how it would do.
Yeah, and plus I do not think he would accept the nomination.
Yeah, he left it to be a judge.
So there are so many other positions that what cabinet roles do you think would probably stay the same coming into the administration?
I really don't know. Okay, there's only one that I will hopefully stay the same, and that's Director of ICE. That Zipek stays, just because I'm in Homeland Security, and I hope he stays Director of ICE. But that's pretty much it. Okay, maybe some of the military ones will stay the same. Hard to tell. It depends if they've been good or not. But yeah, I really don't know. I mean, I definitely. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely hard to say because there's a lot of good nominations.
There are so many other nominations that were ideas that could be flowing around. So many ideas. For example, I said Cabot for Attorney General earlier. There are so many others. I'm hoping that I'm trying to apply for the DOT right now, and I'm hoping I get accepted before the 20th, because then I might end up with a completely separate boss. So I'm hoping Secretary Human, the person in charge of the DOT, stays the same. And so that is what I'm just going to say. Where do you think? What do you think is going to be the? What am I going to say here? What are you based off what you know from Ralph Foley and what we're seeing so far? How much of the Constitutionalists' agenda do you think he will be able to complete in this term?
His agenda, what he's going to complete? I think he'll definitely
have a lot of things that they want to do, obviously, and will they be able to get everything done by the time the term ends?
I don't know. I really don't know. It depends on.
It depends on Congress mainly.
Well, yeah, it depends on how well and how much Congress approves of this.
Yeah, I'm thinking
going to come down to the bipartisan.
Congress is is dominated by the Constitutionalists and Democrats. But the Constitutionalists, I feel like the momentum eventually into the term for the Constitutionalists, the momentum the Constitutionalists currently have is going to eventually. It doesn't have to fall, but it will most likely just slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
But so if we're gonna take a look at, if we're gonna view, I'm gonna go down to your server right now and view your agenda. And we're going to and I'm gonna ask you about that. So you want to you're gonna work to increase DC activity, mainly like by holding events and such.
Yes.
So for example, like a purge or whatever. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I had this idea. I had this idea for improving DC activity. Where there could be there could be a position that's in charge of setting up events and such, like where like there's like a group or a committee or whatever tasked with setting up events to hold in the city, and just works to make sure the city is active and making sure that the community as a whole is active.
That actually sounds like a good idea. Because we need activity right now. Okay? We're getting drowned out by Ridgeway. Big time, okay?
I'm thinking when the federal transition to Ridgeway comes, based off what we know from clan management, it is most likely that they will the moment they are able to get Ridgeway off the ground and ready, they will begin updating DC again. So I'm hoping that will come soon, but we're probably gonna have a month or two to wait. But I'm thinking it'll probably come in this administration. That is what I'm saying. I'm not an expert. Don't take it from me. Don't take it from me. I'm just gonna say that it is possible. That it is completely possible that we could have a free Ridgeway by the time this happens, and a DC that we are waiting for an update for, a big update on.
Yeah, I would have to disagree with you on Ridgeway being complete by a couple months.
I'm not
from
saying
now
complete,
because
like just in a state where the clan managements don't have to focus everything on it, where they can also look at DC. Like I mean, in a more of it done than it is now. Like for example, when it exits alpha. What is it, in alpha right now? Early access. Once it exits early access, I'm thinking they'll be able to. I think it'll exit early access in this term.
I mean it could leave early access this term, but even when it does, I don't think clan management's gonna be updating DC until like 2021. That's just my opinion.
It is 2021.
I mean 2022. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a brain fart, but
I'm thinking maybe
gonna be.
I'm thinking it'll probably be I think it'll be updated maybe in the summer or mid or late spring. Well, anyways, I want to say your first agenda is to create your first part of the agenda is to create the Department of Agriculture, which aligns with the farmers movement. But we're gonna skip that one. And your another agenda is to revoke SIVA. What is SIVA? Explain it to our viewers.
It basically just repeals the Pride Act in this. Okay, I feel that it was a bit much. We didn't need to go that far. Okay, there are some people who have different views than everyone, but I think that's going a little too far.
Agreed. I agree.
Yes, it's me.
If you remember, Fire is, remember Fire? We ran for the house. We ran for house with him. I remember, now he's a furry. He's also trans, and he's running for the house again. Which I'm wondering, I'm paying close attention to the candidacy because this could be interesting. For example, rated. He wants to make Noosa. He says he wants to make Noosa more of an inclusive place, and I think he would probably align with you on the stance of revoking Siva. So there's that. So in revoking Siva, he would have an ally. You would have an ally in the House, and if he wanted to revoke Siva, he would have an ally in the Senate. So what I'm gonna ask you now is, what are your thoughts on Fire's candidacy? What are your thoughts on Fire's candidacy?
I think he's a good candidate. Okay, he definitely knows what he's doing when it comes to experience and overall stuff to do in office. Okay, I'd say he's very well, versed in the government and news as a whole, and he definitely has some very good ideas on what to do. Okay, and I definitely think that the fact that he is trans, it's definitely hurting him. And
yeah, just Noosa. There's a lot of prejudice in Noosa, which is sad.
Yeah, it's
sad, but I'm hoping.
I know.
Or sad, but he has been holding rallies in D.C. Does have some support. He has support from some high-profile figures. So we're gonna wait and see. I think he has a chance, but either way, we don't know. So also, do you think you want to get the president to hold regular events? So what types of events?
I'd like to see events that are relatively creative. Okay.
Okay.
Just like hostage situations where we have a hostage, people have to rescue it. There's going to be people holding the hostage. Games. This, that. Yeah, just stuff like that. Stuff to mix it up, because DC is pretty much just cops and robbers, and that gets boring after a while. We need something that's new and interesting.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe there could be some events that are held that are not announced and are just happen, and then boom, they're announced at the moment they happen. That would be interesting to see how people react. For example, let's say there could be maybe an event where there's where people dress up as rioters and they start by they lock the server, make it look like a riot by placing cars all over the place and making them crash into each other and setting them on, having them burned, and then unlocking the server and having all the people join in and then seeing a riot or something. That would be cool, but one idea I had.
Yeah, that would be very interesting.
Or I had this idea. There is so much combat is one of the main things in DC. Maybe there could be fighting in tournaments. We could in the warehouse district. We could hold an event where it's a 1v1 tournament. That could be an interesting thing to broadcast for FTN. But anyways, I think this is this discussion about the president's nominations just turned into a discussion about whatever and DC activity and all that. But
yeah.
But still, it's very helpful. So, I thank you for your time. I thank you for your time, Senator, and I hope you have a great night. And to all our viewers,
you too,
and to all our viewers across the nation, I thank you for watching FTN News tonight. I'll see you again tomorrow. Good night. Goodbye.